Welcome back to another episode of the Profit Builder Unscripted. Today we're talking about something a little bit different. Today we're talking about how do you bring more connection and meaning to what you're doing, especially during the holiday season. Okay, let's jump in. This week, as I have been looking at gifts to get people for the holidays, I've been reminded about the fact that one of the things that I made an agreement with myself about earlier this year was that I was going to stop having my life show up like another thing to do, like a thing to check off of a checklist. And I particularly have been very mindful about that around the holidays this year because that really I don't know about you, but there's always all this pressure about like gotta bake cookies and gotta buy gifts and gotta send cards and around Thanksgiving there's all this stuff about like food and feeding people and I love all of those things. Oftentimes in the past, especially in the last couple of years, it's shown up for me like a have to, like that there's this pressure around it that has made it not fun. And one of the things that I really committed to over Thanksgiving was letting there be a little bit more space around all of the planning and not having everything be perfect. And it was really magical in just the way that the whole, those we were with our kids, and it was just magical how the whole time unfolded. And as I reflected on it and we talked about it as a family afterwards, we talked about the fact that this pressure that we put on ourselves sometimes of doing things just right or being perfect or just kind of dialing it in too, like, are you just going through the motions and not really being present with the process and what it is that you're doing. And so as I've been getting ready and sending gifts to people, one of the things that I have really stopped and done differently this year is really give thought to not just, oh, I need to buy a gift for my great nephews or my great nieces or that I have to, get stuff for the kids, but that I've really spent time just stopping and thinking, all right, like what is something that I think resonates with who they are and who I think that something that I think that they would like, but also something that I feel like is truly a gift from me and an expression of my love and care for them. And what I've noticed is that the whole process of doing, and I've been super busy, like, trust me, like you, like, I've been doing all the baking and the getting gifts and sending things and packaging things up. But the thing that's been different for me this year has been that I've just sort of stopped and paused in the moment and really like enjoyed the process instead of just treating it like another thing on a to-do list to sort of check off. And so I wanted to share that with you because maybe you experience some of that around the holidays too, where there's like all this stuff that you think you have to do. And maybe stop and consider and ask yourself the question, well, do I have to do it? Or how can I do it in a way that is more enriching and fun for me so that I can actually appreciate and enjoy the process? And, one thing that really sticks out for me is this thing about corporate gifts that we give and sending corporate cards. And I have to tell you, this is a little bit of a pet peeve for me because I get these cards every year from companies where all the employees signed them or the owner signed them, but they're never addressed to me, or occasionally they're addressed to me, but mostly they're sort of like mass card sending. And I'm like, why do we do that? I don't feel acknowledged. I don't, when I get those cards, I don't feel particularly, yeah, like I don't feel appreciated. It's not like I feel unappreciated. It's just that I don't feel like I feel like I was just part of a mass thing that somebody did, and it doesn't really have any meaning. And the same time, sometimes when like somebody sends the same like gift every year with no note that I just like it's, from our team and it's just like somebody in their office did this mass mailing to, this group of people. It's not that I'm not appreciative because I am. I'm grateful for that and that people make the effort. But it's like, are we losing the connection and the reason that we're doing it in the first place? And I think for me this year, it's like I've been thinking about how can I, in everything that I'm doing, as I just shared, how can I just be more present to the process? How can I enjoy it more? How can I be more connected to the process? And I think that it's brought, like when I think about the holidays with my, Thanksgiving with our kids, it was like everybody had a blast. We just had so much fun. And I think it was because we kind of let ourselves, we, kind of took off some of the pressure of having it be just so, or just kind of going with the flow a little bit more, or just being more present with each other in the process. And this process of buying gifts this year for me has been so much more enjoyable, or baking cookies, which is one of the things I do. Um, just to be more present with the process and to enjoy it and appreciate and enjoy the process of giving it as well. That there's that sense of connection. And then there's also the whole, thing about including notes with it that speaks to why this gift and why did it resonate for you and for them. Um, that's the other thing that I've really been noticing a lot this year is when I give gifts, am I actually expressing why giving this gift is important to me to give to them? Like why did I think that was a good gift for them? And what do I want them, where am I giving it from? Like I cook for people a lot, especially my nieces who have little kids and I realize that giving them a note with it, maybe even with the recipe a lot of times, but giving them a note with it, just saying, hey, like, this is from, my hands made this with love in my heart and wanting to feed and nurture your family. And I wanted you to feel taken care of and loved today. I hope you enjoy it. Like just doing that note and expressing it in that way really delivers much more than just food on somebody's table, but a message of I love you. And yeah, so I would just invite you that if you're finding yourself super stressed and super like in the process, but not really present to the process, in doing the motions, but not really enjoying it, to maybe just stop and think about how can you be more present to the process and enjoy it, and maybe communicate why you're giving a gift and why you're doing that thing for somebody. Uh, so that they can really appreciate and understand the care that you took and the love that you have for whoever they are, or the appreciation for them. That is really the message that has somebody feel seen, heard, loved, mattered, which is ultimately what we all want. All right. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. I would love for you to drop a note below and tell me what your thoughts are about like this whole holiday season of giving and what's your experience of it, and maybe something that you do that lets you have a greater sense of connection with what you're doing during the holidays and with the people that you care about and love. All right. Hope you have an amazing holiday season, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time on the Profit Builder Unscripted.